The Board of Trustees, Crystal City Independent School District will meet regular session 6 p.m. Monday, March 10th, 2025 in the Administration Building, Boardroom 613, the West Zavala Street, Crystal City, Texas 78839. This time, Anna, can you call the roll?
Mr. Reyes Espinosa?
Here.
Mr. Sammy Houston?
Here.
Mr. Cruz Mata?
Here.
Mr. Victor Bonilla III is absent. Mr. Gabriel Espinosa? Absent. Mr. Vince Martinez?
Here.
Mrs. Peggy Young?
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Item number 3, moment of reflection. Item number 4, audience of patrons, Mr. Flores. Number 5, special recognition, Ms. Briones.
At this point, we'll ask Mr. Alvarado, HR Director, to introduce both Mr. Hernandez and Mr. Zarate for the 24-25 PCAT Bus Driver of the Year.
All right, it says we got a letter and we are proud to recognize Mr. Guadalupe Zarate. It says, on behalf of the PCAT, we would like to thank you and all your fine school bus drivers whose care and dedication help ensure that children are safely transported to and from school during the year. This year, following a selection process by the district, one exceptional driver was chosen to be the district's PCAT Bus Driver of the Year. It is a privilege to provide your district's 2024-2025 PCAT Bus Driver of the Year with a special certificate, tumbler, and tote. Mr. Hernandez and Mr. Zarate, do you want to come back?
Mr. Alvarado.
Yes, sir.
Why was over there?
No, that's somebody there. He's gonna be.
Don't be afraid.
Good evening, school board members, Superintendent Briones, Crystal City ISD staff and community members. I'm Albertito Hernandez, Chief Operating and Facility Officer. Today I'm here to recognize our Bus Driver of the Year. This year's bus driver is Mr. Guadalupe Zarate. Mr. Zarate has been driving for 3 years for the school district. He's friendly, helpful with staff. He's a true professional driver. He's punctual, reliable driver. Mr. Zarate drives with great care on all his trips. He makes sure his students get home safely. That is why I have the honor in presenting Mr. Guadalupe Zarate as our Bus Driver of the Year for the 24-25 school year. And your, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Zarate, on behalf of the board, we want to thank you because that's a great honor. I mean, especially for the safety of the students. I know, it's hard. Pero thank you for being careful with our students, their safety, and bringing them home. They go out and they come home. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
all the drivers in the morning pitching some money to get them a basket.
There you go.
Okay, we're gonna move down to Western item 9. Action to approve the memorandum of understanding between South Junior College School District for higher education partnership.
Charles, if you want to join us up front.
Damn. There was a request to move that one up.
Huh?
I think there was a request.
Yeah, there was. Are we just doing 9A or are we doing all of them? 9A? Just 9A.
Because he needs to go to the class.
Charles is here representing the Southwest Texas College. This is initially an initiative by the Crystal City Coalition. Proposition came to Charles first for the consideration for the board to extend the PCT program, the patient care program, to adult community in Crystal City. At this point, I'll let Charles address the MOU. Hopefully the board will consider approving it. Charles?
Good evening, Mr. Board President Espinosa, Superintendent Briones, members of the Board of Trustees. Thank you for your time. What I believe you have in your packet is a cover letter with the MOU. MOU has 4 pages. As Briones said, it came about because of interest of the Crystal City Coalition and Southwest Texas School District to provide a PCT program in the evening for adult age students. So if you look on the first page, it just simply describes the purpose of the memorandum of understanding, provide a opportunity for that cohort of adult age students to go through and earn a PCT, patient care technician level 1 certificate. Location would be at Crystal City High School in the evenings. And the reason for that is quite simple. The school district and Southwest Texas College currently have a patient care technician program for dual credit students. And your classroom and your lab in which that takes place during the day, that meets all the required standards, and it's considered an instructional site, off-campus instructional site of Southwest Texas College. So we don't currently have a place on our college campus, which you're familiar with a couple blocks away, but the site there at the high school is more than adequate to do that. So that's why it points out that the location of those classes, that's at the high school. The parties, of course, for the college and the school district. The term is for 1 year, basically, from March of 2025 through March of 2026. But as it's envisioned, and as it was described initially by the coalition and the program coordinator, is we anticipate that if you approve the MOU and if the classes were to start in the second 8-week semester, which begins in 4 weeks,
24.
and the program, assuming a student begins right then, second 8-week semester, spring 25, they would finish the program by the end of the fall 25 semester. So it would end in December of 2025. But the MOU is placed over a 1-year period, just in case there need to be a little bit of flexibility. And then Roman numeral 5 describes the responsibility of Southwest Texas College and the school district, and both, first, the college agrees to provide qualified instructors and staff to offer that patient care technician classes in person at the high school, in the classroom that's designated for it, in the lab, and that we provide those faculty with the curricular material. In the college, when I say the college, that's Crystal City campus, would provide advising services. Ms. De La Cruz, Lali De La Cruz is the director at that campus, and she and her staff are adept at providing advising services, whether it's for FAFSA or for scope and sequence of classes. So college provides that, would provide that. The group would need to be a minimum of 8 students, and this is where the coalition, yes, sir. The coalition has stated, and this comes from my conversation with Dr. Gonzalez, that there's more than 8 students that are interested in the program. He's quoted 12, 14 students, so 8 is the minimum that we would need, so it looks like there would be more than enough students. Again, community members, adult age students. You'll notice on page 2, and this was confirmed with your superintendent, the square footage of the classroom and the lab is approximately 1,539 square feet. And so at the rate of 90 cents per square foot, it comes out to $13.85 per month. That's what the college would pay pay Crystal City ISD for the use of that facility Monday through Friday from 5 to 9 is when the classes would take place. And that would be for each month that the classes are occurring. So again, if it starts in March, from then through the fall semester. The only thing we point out, if there's a little bit of assistance from the school district with recruitment or assessment, we don't expect for the school district to actually do any of that work other than just kind of refer the students back to us if they have questions, because we know it's a very small community, and certainly they could reach out to school district officials or employees. Help us perhaps with the recruitment of qualified faculty, if it comes to that point later on, if there's a need for an additional person, if you know of someone. Basically to kind of do the same type of interaction that the college already has with the school district, provide that type of referral or partnership services, we would call them. And then specifically, the college is in charge of onboarding those students, the admissions process, making sure all their paperwork's in place, getting them through their financial aid applications or registered for classes, and promoting it throughout your community. And what's on item 6, Roman numeral 6, just to be clear, that the cost is the responsibility of the students. It doesn't involve the district or anything like that, that if I'm, say, one of these adult age students that registers for these classes, I'm responsible for paying it, either through financial aid or through other means. And Roman numeral 7, that's what I call the program of study. So if you were one of those incoming students, you would start second 8 weeks, which is March 24th, first class day, and it shows the classes that you begin with, and then you continue into summer 1, summer 2, and then fall over the 16-week semester. So that gives you a pretty clear idea of just how much use, how many classes would take place at your high school site in the evening. Also on page 3, for just again to be clear, there are fees that run with those classes, so they're billed to the student. Again, that's not a cost that the district is responsible for, but as they take those classes, there are some study materials, some certification exam fees that go with that. So we just put it that way to make it completely clear for anyone looking at the MOU as to what a student would do, what they would be taking, what they would be doing in terms of exams as they go. And then Roman numeral 9, we emphasize that, especially for the allied health programs, since patient care technician is one of those programs with a lot of scrutiny from state agencies, it's important for students to understand that, and that's why it says on Roman numeral 9 what the students' responsibilities are. To qualify for admission to the program, that they have to be a high school or a GED holder, high school graduate or GED holder, comply with those other items, the current TB skin test, series of vaccines, providing other information. But that's, again, that's on the student. And then items, Roman numeral 10, release of the MOU. We certainly don't envision that, but you could. You agree to it, and the college and the district enter into this MOU, you can certainly request release from any part of it, giving 60 days notice. That's kind of standard in the way we build MOUs. And then the last part is a signature clause, which will be signed by your superintendent or whoever the board designates to do that.
You mentioned a minimum of 8, right?
Yes, sir.
What's the maximum?
The maximum on a group like that, they normally keep the size fairly small, so 20, I think, is the upper limit.
One question on the tuition and fees. So if a student cannot fit the dual credit into their actual schedule at school, and they want to enroll in this class outside of the actual dual credit, they will have to pay as well? Like a student that Crystal City ISD student,
This MOU
adults.
is specific for adults.
Not student.
But if a student tests into, I mean, if they take all the classes, I mean, if they take the test to get into college at 15 or 16, and they decide to enroll in college courses, they would have to pay that fee, even though they're a student at Crystal City ISD. Say that the dual credit doesn't fit into their actual curriculum, they can't get into the dual credit class. They want to take this one outside of the normal school hours.
Okay.
To qualify, you need a high school diploma or a GED.
Well, you don't need a high school diploma or GED. You can take,
It says right
Their
here.
requirements, yes.
for this one, you have to?
Yes, sir. For this one.
This program itself.
For this one, Mr. Martinez, this is, since it's an adult age group, right? The requirement is that they either have graduated high school, so it could be someone, just done a year ago, or someone much older than that, or they hold a GED
Okay.
equivalent.
You got any other questions?
I mean, also, for instance, what if it's a 17-year-old that has a GED? They qualify?
The age restriction, I'm not sure that would come up, for instance, when the division chair and the PCT coordinator begin to intake students. It's my understanding is they have to be 18 years old, but that's something that they would be advised of as potential students.
Peggy?
No, I'm good.
Hey, Rob.
Yes, they will have to. We talked about security, which we will have to discuss with with Dr. Gonzalez at a later meeting, because yes, we have to make sure that we maintain the safety and security of the buildings. No,
What about liability if something happens? I mean, the school's gonna be liable for if anything.
we already have
Fair.
the existing
Okay.
agreement.
Your recommendation?
Yes, the recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the MOU between Southwest Texas College and Crystal City ISD as presented.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve it?
I'll make it.
Motion by Peggy, second.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Martinez. Questions, concerns? Not, all in favor? You're abstaining.
I abstain because it's place of work.
The motion passes 1-3,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles.
We look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Okay, we're going back to number 6, closed session. The Board of Trustees will meet. Closed session is authorized with the Texas Government Code, Chapter 55. 1.